Beyond the Streams, and man, this summer has been a fun one. It's been hot, it's been cold, it's been rainy. We've been getting hurricanes, monsoons, Next Level's beard's going crazy. I don't know what's going on.
It still has its own ecosystem, don't worry.
With the man bun.
Man bun, see? There you go.
Man bun mode on. So today we have a special guest. This is Ken from MS7. How are you doing, Ken?
Pretty good, and you? How you all doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Surviving every day.
Oh yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Now, if you can give an introduction to who you are, so that way people know who you are and they can get to know you a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, hello everybody. Yeah, my name is Ken, and I'm one of the members of MS7. And I've been in the cord cutting community for I've been a cord cutter for like 3 years, but I just recently became a YouTuber within the last 6 months. And, I'm just on here, formed a team called MS7, and we have more than 7 members, but 7 represents the number of completeness. So that number will never change. So, we're just a group of people that have the same passion, that's to help people and, get the word out. And like I said, I've been a cord cutter for a while, saving money, tired of paying those high cable prices and things like that. So, I'm just on here just to have some fun and, get the word out to the people, let them know that, look, listen, you can have fun, save money, and have fun streaming.
Nice. So you said you've been on the cord cutting venture for the last 3 years now, right?
Correct.
Before that, before you decided to cut the cord, what were you doing?
Well, actually, we had cable. I had cable just like anybody else had cable, and when I got married, I had told my wife my cable bill when I got married, we was having cable. And I don't know if you heard my story, but when my cable bill went from $120 to like $400, I told my wife, I'm like, baby, I can't do it no more. So there was a buddy of mine that stayed in my city. He had told me, we were just, chopping it up, talking. He said, well, look, bro, have you ever heard of a Fire Stick? I said, no, I haven't. And so obviously I had to pay for it. He brought it over to me and showed me and, introduced me to premium services, APKs and things like that. Now, this was like 3 years ago. So I liked it. And so from here on, so I talked to my wife about it and stuff. I say, well, listen. Well, before that, let me back up a little bit. Before the Fire Stick happened, we had a Roku watching Sling TV. Had it right. I had to remember that. Yep. Had a Roku watching Sling TV, and we got by for a minute, and then I got introduced to the Fire Stick. And he put a build on there for me, and then the rest was pretty much history. So then I kind of got into it. I liked it, but my own Fire Sticks began to go on YouTube. That's where I saw Super Dale on there, and I saw Stephen Cornelius, saw you guys, and I just pretty much just fell into it.
Now, you did say, let me just clarify this.
Yes.
4, as in the number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's correct.
100 USD.
USD.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Not pesos.
No. USD.
Not monopoly money. So
no.
How did it get to $400?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
I'm so glad you asked. And you know what? I just figured out, because I tell this story when I go live, and they say, Ken, you must have had, oh man, the cat was out the bag. I was a huge sports fan. So need I say more? It was more or less like all those NFL packages and NBA League Pass and all that stuff. And before I knew it, it just kind of mushroomed to 400. So I'm like, wow, and I'm just like, dog, So then my wife, she loved TV. She loved movies and stuff. So yeah, on demand and all that stuff. And so, yeah, so it just kind of ballooned to 400.
And go
sorry.
ahead.
So sorry. From 400, you said you moved to a Roku. Which Roku was it?
It was the Roku Ultra.
Roku Ultra.
Yeah, the little square box.
Square box, right? And you said you moved to that and you got Sling.
That's correct. Sling TV, yes.
So tell us a little bit about that transition, how it was for you. Like, what did the 400 turn into, and what did it give you?
Talking as far as with Sling?
Yeah.
Well, actually, we stopped getting, we cut off the cable. Like I told my wife I couldn't do it no more. So then, like I said, we got the Roku and everything, and we got Sling. Basically, I got it from my wife because my wife loves TV, and she wanted to watch like all of her political shows and things like that. So it was pretty good for a minute. But once my buddy turned me onto the Fire Stick, it just opened up even more. Because even with the Roku, I was still limited. I still wasn't able to get some of the things that I wanted to see.
Right.
As far as sports.
What was it costing you to transition over to the Roku and with Sling? Like, what was that running you like monthly? What did the 400 turn into though?
Oh, the 400 turned into like my internet bill. The internet bill went from, it was like what I was paying like $80.
Okay.
$80, and Sling was what? Sling at the time I think was $30.
Okay.
$30, and plus the Roku. So the Roku I caught it on sale for like $80.
Okay. I mean, they're not bad devices. They are limited according to their operating system. But I mean, it is what it is.
At the time, I didn't know. I didn't know what I know now. For
of course.
That, saying, you know how it goes when you know better, you do better. So I was kind of new into it, and I wanted something, for my wife to be able to watch, and I knew cable was no longer an option anymore.
It's funny because Rohas and I have had conversations about spouses in the streaming community and how we focus our videos on the wrong person, because most of the time the decision maker when it comes to canceling cable is the wife, right? So that must have been a very difficult decision coming from a $400 cable package where you had everything to going to Sling, and then eventually, canceling Sling and convincing, is it Sandy?
Miss Sonia.
Sonia, there you go, Sonia. Convincing her to actually jump to something that has so many variables. It's inconsistent. There's no guarantees.
Right.
So I don't know if you slept on the couch or how many, sleepless nights you went through, but
actually Next Level, I was actually blessed because I'm gonna tell you like this. My wife, she didn't care. She trusts my judgment. She didn't care.
Yeah.
As long as she could watch TV, she said, Ken, however you do it, just make it to where I'm able to watch TV. Because when I went to her and I told her I can't do it no more, her face kind of dropped and was kind of sad, but she understood where I was coming from. So it wasn't more or less like she was upset. She just said, look, whatever you do, just make it right, So yeah. So I got the Roku, she's able to watch her CNN, her MSNBC and stuff like that. She likes movies every so often, but she's more into the news and politics and stuff. So that was able to give her that. So I wasn't in the doghouse Next Level, so thank God for that. I wasn't.
That's awesome. It's awesome that you have such an understanding wife.
Yeah.
With the Roku, because I've never owned one. I don't know if Rojas has, but I'm always so curious about it. So I get that, your wife likes to watch her movies and stuff, and Roku does come with some free content as well. How would you rate that?
Well, you know what? She never watched the free content stuff. She just wanted to watch. She just wanted Sling for all her news channels and stuff, because we had an over-the-air antenna as well. We had an antenna.
Yeah.
And we had the Roku for her to watch her news and stuff, because she was missing like The View and, MSNBC and stuff like that, all her daytime stuff. She wanted to watch all that, because I'd be at work, I was at work. So she just wanted to be at home and watch all her daytime shows and watch her Rachel Meadows and all that stuff, so.
What was it with the Fire Stick? Because you said you moved from the Roku to the Fire Stick?
That's correct.
That convinced you that you could get everything that you needed from it?
Yes.
But what was it? What was it with the Fire Stick? Like, how did you...
my buddy Terry, he was telling me about it. He lives in the same city, and he was telling me, he said, because I told him what I had. He said, no. He said, man, there's far more that meets the eye. I mean, get a load of this Fire Stick. So what he did was, am I allowed to say the K word on here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first thing he introduced me to was Cody. And now this is before because I come from a background of making DVDs and CDs. You know, I come back from that background. So I wasn't ready to make that transition. So that's why my wife, she didn't really have to watch the movies and stuff because I already had the movies and everything. So he introduced me to the Fire Stick, and the first thing he put on there was Cody, and I had the Gears Reloaded build with the IPTV inside of it. So he showed me that, and then he put on a couple of APKs and stuff, and I showed my wife because at the time, you know, like IPTV was something new to us, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that it even existed. So I showed her, and she was down with it. Like I say, we was able to get all the NFL, all the NBA and stuff. So that was just right up my alley. I'm like, great, I'm sold. What do I sign up at? So then he showed me that. And then, you know, me being a tech guy anyway, coming from a background of building computers and stuff. So I just like the Fire Stick. So I bought my own, and the rest is pretty much history. But yeah, but that Fire Stick opened up a whole nother level, next level.
Yeah. It's funny. When I changed my name to Next Level, I was like, yo, everybody's saying my name. This is great. Because I tune into like different YouTubers and they're like, take it to the next level. I'm like, I'm right here.
Yes.
So you had a background of the DVDs, so before a lot of this stuff, I know there's some people we've done shows and we've talked about devices and giving things value and there's people, and I hate to pick on, I guess, the UK people, the European people, people from on the other side of the world. They don't comprehend how expensive things are over here. They don't understand, like, hey, you know, my bill is so expensive. I pay $80. And I'm like, well, that must be nice. You know,
Right.
It's like, are you kidding me? So then when somebody, I know we've talked about like the super box before, and we gave a value of it, and we're just like, you know, they were listening to us and saying like, we had no clue that in the States, that their bills were over $200. And what was interesting is more people were talking about like, dude, $200 was a good deal. What about well, yeah, what about $350 or $400 or $4 something? It's people love their sports. People love their movie channels.
Yes.
What's funny is I know with Sling they had categories where they say pay what you want, but you couldn't pick your channels. You know, you had specific channels that you can get, and the prices varied. And I don't think anybody has come up with like an a la carte saying, hey, these are the channels that I watch because I only want to pay for what I want to watch, not for all these other channels and get this expensive bill, you know? So back then, when you were doing with DVDs, were you ripping them? Were you like how were you doing with the DVDs? Were you just downloading stuff?
Pretty much just we're both ripping, for educational purposes, downloading stuff, putting them on DVDs and CDs, and you know, yep. So I was doing using my computer. My computer wasn't my money maker. Yeah.
So when you're doing your DVDs and you're going through this whole venture, $400. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about how much that is for the year. So when you're looking at this and you finally said, cool, I found my Roku. Now I updated to this Fire Stick because I know the Roku, you couldn't do the Kodi stuff.
Correct.
So who were the first YouTubers that you found that was helping you on your venture? Who was like, I guess like the first one, the second one, the third one to really help you there?
It was Super Dale was the first one. Well, Super Dale was one of the first people. Then I saw Stephen Cornelius. Then I saw yourself. I saw yourself actually, Rojas, and also nxtlvltech. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And out of the, was it anyone in particular that got you within Cody? Like, I know the Gears of War build came from Target and 1080p, now known as Omi and Hellcat. Was that Gears of War build the first build that you use? And then where did you go from that build?
Okay. Yep. That was the very first build that I ever. When I first got introduced to Cody, that was the very first build that I had on my Fire Stick, because it also had the IPTV also in it as well. That's before it became an APK. So that was the very first build that I ever used in Cody. So then once I began to do that, then my buddy of mine, he showed me how to put Cody on my phone and everything. So then as this Fire Stick journey kept going, I just kind of just loved it. Like, I'm like, I could get into this, and I liked it. So then I began to reach out on YouTube, how to jailbreak a Fire Stick and how to do this and how to do that. So that's how I met people like Super Dale and Stephen Cornelius, yourself, and Next Level, and things like that. So did that answer your question?
Yeah. Now, did you only play with Gears, or did you jump around with the different builds?
Well, as time went on, I bought my own Fire Sticks. And what I did was that I used to just play around with different stuff, I used to practice on how to go to Cody, how to, go to repos and stuff like that. I was playing around. I put the diamond build on there. I was just doing a lot of different things, reaching out to other YouTubers and playing with different builds. I had put, that's when I got introduced to putting Cody forks on there, because you can run a Cody fork on there along with your other Cody build and stuff like that. So then on the very next device that I got was the Fire Stick pendant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got the little pendant and I played around with that. In fact, that was the first device that I actually put two Codys on. Two Codys on there. I put two Codys on there. Yeah, one of them was a diamond build, and one of them was I want to say it was Slamius or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yep, Slamius. Yep. And then actually, Rojas, I had the second service that I ever had was yours.
The
you introduced us to.
The simple build?
Yes.
Or the urban?
No. No, not the build, the service, the premium service.
Little guys.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That was
yeah, man. Like I said, that was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. Because I remember seeing your name, because they're like, oh yeah, Ken from MS7. And then when I saw Ken Mullen, I'm just like, why does that look so familiar? Like, I know this guy from somewhere.
Yep.
I'm just thinking like, it's my brain.
Nope. Because I signed up for your service, and
Mm-hmm. Now, was that one with? Was that with Gears? Was that Area 51? Was that Vader's? Because I know I had a couple of them going on at the same time. I forget which one it was.
No, you had neither one of those. It was the one where you can get both. You can get the sports. You had two separate APKs.
Oh yeah. I remember.
I can't remember. Like, I think it was a blue APK, or what I'm trying to say, right? The two that you had, the one you have to log in on the one, and then one gave you the sports, and then one gave you the
live.
Yeah.
It was very unique, and man, I missed it.
Oh my God, what is the name of it? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I do remember the sports. The sports section was the best.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything out there nowadays that comes close to it, because you would have like a very unique match center look where you could see the scores, if it's live or not.
Right, exactly.
Click it, and then it'll take you there.
Yeah.
That
man,
that was
when the app came on, it actually showed you the score. Like you said, it actually showed you the scores, and then it showed you the games that were playing.
Yep.
When you clicked on that was a game that was playing. Like, so to let you know if it was halftime, to let you know it was that. I just can't think of the name of your service. That
Yeah, that was a while back. I'm like, man, that was way within. What was what? I guess the question now then is, what were your go-to add-ons when you were messing around with the Cody builds?
It was placenta. It was uh, um, um, okay. Placenta was one, and the real popular one, Exodus.
Mhm.
Exodus was another one, and I remember saying something like Dexter's TV or something, but that wasn't an add-on though, was it?
It was a live service.
Live service.
Yeah,
that,
Dexter.
that was in one of the builds that I had that I was messing with.
Mhm.
You know. So yeah, so those were some. To name a few, it was just so many of them. Yeah, there were so many of them, but I do remember those right off the bat: Exodus and
Placenta.
Placenta. Yes.
Yeah, that was I was with you know Blamo, right?
Yes. Yes.
Blamo, Tantrum. I was in that group when they were creating Placenta,
Okay.
and I was fighting them so hard not to call it that. I was like, dude, how am I gonna install this in my build?
Hmm.
And you know, like my nieces are over here, like, hey, I want to watch a movie on Placenta. I was like, you guys, like, I'm like, come on, let's come up with, and then everybody voted on it. They're like, no, let's just call it Placenta. I'm like, you guys suck. And the I know when it was loading, it would say now probing the spectrum, or I don't know. They were they came up with some stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I'll just chill in the background, guys. You guys are gonna get me in trouble. But I definitely remember that.
Are you still using Kodi as like one of your main streaming avenues?
No, sir. No, sir. I don't use now. Now I'm more into Plex now. I'm more of a Plex guy now.
Did
So-
you skip the whole APKs?
Well, I do APKs. When I first started, I got into APKs. I used a lot of APKs, such as let me see which ones they had out back then. Of course, Terrarium was nice. At Terrarium, there was just so many APKs out there. So I'm drawing a blank, but Terrarium was one that we all used, and also Mobdro. Mobdro was one that we used for the TV. Yeah, those were the ones I got introduced to. And so then, like I say, there were just so many back then, and so I can't even remember. Yeah,
Cartoon HD,
Cartoon HD was one. And
Showbox.
Showbox. Well, you know what? Now here's the thing about Showbox. When I first seen Showbox, there was always this thing surrounding Showbox. Don't use Showbox. Even back then, like Showbox was one of those apps that you didn't really want to mess with back then. But I played around with it for a minute, and it was okay. Okay, yeah.
So you went from Kodi to APKs,
Yeah.
and then slowly moved over to the Plex.
Correct. But here's the interesting thing about Plex, though, Rohas, is that when I first started Plex, I didn't understand it. So I kind of like left it alone. I kind of walked away from it for about 6 months to a year. And when I came back to it, I'm like, let me just sit down and just learn this because it shouldn't be that hard. So I just, watched some videos on how to set up your Plex and stuff. And then I just went and learned how to get my content with using Real to Grid and stuff like that. And then I just remember the very first movies that I put in my Plex was American Pie. Those were the very first ones. I think I woke my whole household up like, I got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And my wife was like, you got what? Like, I got this whole Plex thing, and it was pretty much been on from that point. Yep.
I did get into Plex at first. Well, so I went from Cody, and I got Plex. I didn't get into the APKs, but I did do the Plex, and I didn't see any videos on Plex just yet. Like people weren't really like doing Plex videos. This was like way when
Right.
Plex was brand new out. It was very similar to Cody, where it was just a fork of. I think some of the same guys that were doing Cody now left Cody and did the Plex.
Or the Plex, that's correct.
So I was setting. I remember I had a grip ton of DVDs, and I'm like, let me just save all the stuff here. I still had all the codes to download the digital files, so I started doing all of that stuff, putting it into folders, connecting it into Plex, and I was like, this is going to be cool because now I have my own digital library. And I kind of fell off of it too because I'm like, I can find most of this stuff on Kodi anyway.
Right.
So it didn't make sense for me to put so much work. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get too far into Plex. And then people started doing these videos, and I'm over here thinking like whatever. Like you can get this stuff so many other ways. I don't want to time is money.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to spend time trying to burn all these DVDs and saving them to my computer. I'm like, it's just too much.
Right.
So I gave up that venture. I'm just like, you know what? Let me just stop. Let me just stop and just continue doing what I'm doing. Around the same time, APKs were really starting to come about, and I kind of had the same thing. Like APK is an add-on. It's the same thing as a Kodi add-on. The difference between an APK and an add-on is, well, for one, Kodi is an APK, but within Kodi, you could have several add-ons. With just a third-party APK like Terrarium, you can't add several add-ons or several APKs into one. So for me, it didn't really make sense to jump into that APK route. You know what I mean? I'm like, let me just use Kodi, put all the add-ons, and then we're good.
Correct.
And it took me it really, you know what? It took Next Level to help me out. It took him to help me out and figure out how to use Zion, and I was trying to find some stuff and I couldn't find it, and I had to sit there and I'm like, okay, I played with these before, the interfaces are there, people say this is popular, I'll open it up, it works, I'll do a video, whatever. But it wasn't very like it was cool and exciting because it gave people different avenues. So like for me, for example, I've reviewed I reviewed the PlayStation View when it was out. And I'm like, hey, PlayStation's got their own live TV, blah, 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 and this and that. It looks great. Here's another avenue. I had the trial and then I was done. I just did it for the video, and I don't think they had an affiliate either, but I wasn't going to pay for it. I wasn't a fan of it.
Right.
YouTube. You know, I've talked about YouTube having their YouTube Red, their dedicated movies, TV shows. They have a platform there that you do pay a premium and you get TV, which is great. I've talked about it, but I don't pay for it. There's a question that Next Level always asks me. Every time I look at something or I test something, he says,
how much?
Would Rohas pay for it though?
Got you.
He's like, would I buy it? And yeah, then it kind of made me think. Then after that, I'm like, wait, when I do a review, if I'm reviewing something like the TiVo, and he asks me, but would you buy it? Then I'm kind of like, well, maybe not. I don't know.
Gotcha.
It makes me think. It makes me think. And I think now when I do my stuff, I now review stuff and I look at it, and then I'll put it out there like, hey, yes, I'm trying to be that salesman. I'm trying to be that reviewer. Like, hey, this is my unbiased opinion of what it is. Like and I think people get this confused big time. An unbiased opinion is looking at the product itself and talking about it. What does it have? What does it do? What doesn't it do?
Right.
Once you start talking about your feelings, now it's not. Now it's your opinion. You're not doing an unbiased review. Now you're talking about an opinion, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion. You know, you're entitled to doing with what you want. But I think it's Next Level's made me think a little bit now when I do my stuff. I'm just like, well, would I buy this?
Right. Yep.
I know I was a little long-winded. Sorry.
We get into all this tech and apps and all kinds of stuff, and we're so busy tiptoeing around and being political. And Ross checks me on this all the time. He's like, well, what's your favorite? And we always have the issue with, well, you know, what works for me may not work for you, right?
Right, exactly.
But he's like, no, I'm asking you what your favorite is. I'm not asking you to tell me what's going to work for me. Mm-hmm. So sometimes he has to check me on that too, because I think a lot of us stop sometimes doing some research on things because that may not be of interest to us. Gotcha. And we have our own ignorances and judgments on it. So you switched from Kodi, and then you went into some of the APKs, and now you really enjoy using your own Plex. When you help out, you know, your family members and friends and people who are kind of learning about the streaming community, which avenue are you most comfortable guiding them down? Do you tell them that they have to get both Kodi and APKs? Do you tell them just an APK?
What I lead them down into, well, actually, my mother, for an example, when I first introduced my mother, because all of us had the same issue going on. We all got tired of paying them high cable prices. So when I first introduced them to the Fire Stick, what I took them down was that, look, try APKs, because you got to remember, my mom, she isn't tech savvy at all, and Kodi would have just been a nightmare to her. So I said, well, try this. And it was so funny because I'm gonna tell you a little story. My mom, she loved Terrarium TV. So when Terrarium went down, she was one of the people that called. She said, that app, that thing you put on my Fire Stick is down. She said that one app, she said that thing that you put on there is down. So she didn't know what it was, but she knew that she liked it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I told her to go to that. So so that was the first one that I told her about. I told her about Terrarium because it was easy to go in and stuff like that. So she bought a little Fire Stick. She was going to Terrarium. Then I set her up with MobDro and, you know, for a live TV and things like that. So that's what I leave them down as. Not so much Kodi Next Level, because none of my family, they were really, you know, they're not really tech savvy people. Like I was always the one that would go over and fix the computers and do all that type of stuff. So basically, I just gave them a few little basic apps and MobDro, and that was it.
So we're getting towards the end of the show. I can't believe it's already you start going. It's pretty good. This was a very, very good conversation, so it's gonna be fun. Is there anything that you would like to say to the people, Ken, before we end the show?
Well, no, I'd just like to thank everybody for listening. Thanks for having me. You know, this means a lot to me. Two of my idols are up here, two people that I'm a fan of. So how better than being interviewed by two of my most favorite guys, you know? So I appreciate you guys for thinking of me, and thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great, man. Honestly, like to hear all this stuff, all the stories, everything that we're going through, you guys are doing, working on. It's awesome. So with all that being said, everybody who's listening, everybody who's watching, make sure you guys do check the description if you are on the podcast or if you are on YouTube. Make sure to add Ken's YouTube channel. That way you guys could follow him and see what the MS7 team has to offer. But with all that being said, you guys take care of each other.
And for real, stay humble and be patient.
Please.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Peace.